Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome to today's podcast. I'm so excited you're here with me today. First, I just want to thank you for taking the time to download and listen to these episodes. It means the world to me knowing that in the midst of your busy lives, between work commitments, household responsibilities, and all your parenting challenges, you're carving out this little space for yourself. If you're enjoying these podcasts, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to the podcast. I know it takes effort, but it helps others find this resource too. But today, I wanted to talk about something that has shifted my thinking completely, both as a parent to my autistic son Max and in every other area of my life too. The power of questions. We all ask ourselves questions all day long, don't we? How can I get everything done today? What am I going to make for dinner? When will I lose those last 10 pounds? Why is my life so hard? How can I advance in my career while still being present for my family? The questions that we ask ourselves can either empower us or completely drain us of our energy and hope. In coaching, questions are the tools that we use to change our lives and the tools that I use to change my clients' lives. By asking high quality, empowering questions, we get creative and we get inspiring answers. It's like your brain goes to work searching for the solutions to whatever you present it with. If you ask, how can I be happier? Your brain will come back with a wonderful idea. If you ask, how can I be more patient? When your child is having a bad day, your mind will start generating helpful possibilities. But if you close the door with, I don't know, or nothing's working, a lot of why questions, you block yourself from your own wisdom. Let me just make a little side note here. When you tell yourself, I don't know, or I'm confused, or I can't figure this out, you're actually blocking yourself from your own wisdom. Even if it's something that you don't know the exact answer to right now, saying I don't know will prevent that answer from coming. So instead, try saying I'm learning, I'm figuring it out, or simply I'm asking myself. This keeps the door open for solutions to flow in. The quality of your questions determines the quality of your answers. If you ask yourself, why can't I lose weight? You'll come back with a slew of very negative, self-defeating answers. You've incorporated a negative belief into that question, and your brain will work hard to prove that belief correct. Your brain might respond with things like, you don't have the willpower, or you don't have enough time, or you don't care enough, or I can't do this. None of these answers serve you. Similarly, if you're asking, why can't my child communicate what they need? Especially if your child's got autism, your brain might offer up equally unhelpful answers that leave you feeling stuck and frustrated. But if you change the questions to incorporate an empowering belief, you'll come up with answers that are just as empowering. For example, what if instead you asked, how can I lose weight permanently and have fun at the same time? Or with your child, what different ways might my child be communicating that I haven't noticed yet? You're likely to come up with much more creative and wonderful ideas that will move you a lot closer to your goals. So take a moment right now and see if you can identify the questions you ask yourself regularly about your life, your work, your relationships, or even your parenting. You might even have one main question that you want to evaluate. My question for a long time was, why does my life seem like a constant struggle? And one day, my brain came back with me and said, it doesn't. I changed my question to, How can I end the struggle permanently without losing my essence? Suddenly, I began to get answers that actually helped. Whatever your question is, decide if it's empowering, and if it isn't, change it immediately. Write it on a post-it and put it everywhere in your house, because your brain will go to work for you and most likely come up with a wonderful solution. My current question is, how can I serve both my family and my community, you all, on a large scale? Now, that question guides my decisions and it keeps me focused on what really matters. So pick one question to ask yourself every day. Here are some ideas from different areas of life. How can I get the housework done and have fun at the same time? What can I do to laugh a lot today? How will I make today better than yesterday? How can I make my future more exciting than my past? What unique strength did my child show me yesterday that I can nurture today? How can I make myself a priority so I have more to give others? What do I love about myself? What am I grateful for in my life right now? How can I honor my body today? What can I do to feel my emotions instead of eating them today? How can I create sensory-friendly activities for my child that we'll both enjoy? What can I do to feel more connected to my partner this week? How can I advance my career while staying true to my values? What small financial decision can I make today that my future self will thank me for? Pick what resonates with you, but you get the drift of the kind of questions you need to ask yourself. Because if you want great answers, ask great questions. When you ask a great question, you come up with thoughts to think. And when you're inquisitive about yourself, you can find ways to focus your brain and tell it what to think. Remember, your brain is just a piece of machinery there to serve you. It doesn't care what it thinks. It just wants to be efficient at what it thinks. So give it something worthwhile to work on. I always think that the first question anyone should start with who's new to coaching themselves is simply, what am I thinking? Awareness is everything. If you aren't aware of the 60,000 thoughts that are going through your head every day, it's like your brain is a toddler with a knife running through there. There is nothing more frightening for a life than an unsupervised mind. What are you thinking when you're overeating? What are you thinking when you're procrastinating on that important project? What are you thinking when your child is having a meltdown or when your boss gives you critical feedback? So many of us have no idea what we're thinking. When we start discovering what's actually going on in our minds, we're often blown away and maybe even a little horrified. It's kind of like looking into a house you haven't cleaned in 3 years. Alarming. But here's the thing. What you think determines how you feel. And what you feel determines what actions you take and ultimately the results you get in your life. So if you want a different results in your career and your health and your relationships or in your experience as a parent, look at your thoughts. So let me give you an example. If you're asking yourself, why can't I lose weight? Your answer may be because I don't have the ability, I'm totally out of control, I don't have time, I can't do it. If you believe these thoughts or one of these thoughts, you'll feel hopeless and out of control, which may lead you to eat out of control, resulting in weight gain, proving your original thought was correct. But if you ask a better question, like, how can I eat only when I'm hungry today? Or How can I manage my emotions without eating? And your brain will find answers that serve you. So here are 4 core questions I want you to practice. What am I thinking? So do a thought download. So what that means is take a piece of paper or a journal and just write down every single thought that comes into your head as much as you can. And just write without stopping. Just let it flow. Second question, why am I choosing to think this? And this gives you back the responsibility because you are thinking this thought. So take responsibility for thinking this thought. Question number 3, how does this thought feel? Now, this helps you to connect your thoughts to your emotions because what you are thinking creates what you are feeling. Question number 4, what thought is causing the way I feel right now? Now, this helps when you not necessarily thinking about your thought first, but you feel an emotion first. That's your predominant feeling. And you can ask yourself, well, what am I thinking to cause this feeling? So here are a few more powerful questions that can shift your perspective in the different areas of your life. Okay, ready? What is perfect about this situation that I'm not seeing? How do I want to feel about this challenge, opportunity, relationship? What might the other person be thinking that makes them do that? Now, this question is a game changer in relationships, whether it's with your partner or your boss or your child. What is funny about the situation? This is a good one, especially if you're serious a lot of the time. How can we make this task or meeting or session more fun? What can I give today? What can I learn from this difficult experience? What is the solution to this problem? What is the good news here I'm overlooking? Notice how these questions open up possibilities rather than shutting them down. Okay, let's now look at some questions that don't serve us. And you might find some of these you think yourself, what is wrong with me? How am I going to get through this? Why do they do that to me? What did I do to deserve this? What will they think of me? When is it going to get better? Why is it taking so long? Why is this happening to me? Why do I keep doing this to myself? Why am I so fat, dumb, broke, disorganized? Why can't I get it together? Why can't my child or my partner or boss do what I need them to do? So notice how these questions are dead ends. They don't serve us or the people in our lives. So ask yourself good questions. Don't underestimate how many of us are on autopilot, playing out the programming of our childhood without question. We do what we think we should do based on what we were told as children, and we've never evaluated whether it still applies or even makes sense for our lives and our families. So many people come to me feeling miserable and overwhelmed and lost, whether it's about their parenting, their career path, their health, or their relationships, and they have no idea why. So ask yourself good questions around these issues. It's such an obvious question, but so powerful. Why are you feeling overwhelmed? Do you know the specific thoughts that you're thinking that are causing you to feel this way? Why are you stuck in your career? What exactly are you thinking that creates that stagnation? Why are you worried about your child's future? What thoughts are behind that concern? So these are all questions to bring awareness, and then you can start asking yourself good questions. And remember, you are the reason why you have what you have in your life. It's your responsibility. That's very good news, because that means that you could change it by just changing the questions that you ask yourself. So look into your mind and see the questions you're asking every single day. Notice if you like the question or even if you like the answer, and then decide what you want your brain to be working on. It will work on anything you give it to work on. So give it a question that serves your life, and that serves your well-being and your relationships, and yes, your parenting journey, including the unique aspects of parenting a child with autism, if that's part of your story. Now, here's a final question for you. How can I take more responsibility for what I think, for what I feel, and for what I do in a way that creates the life that I truly want? Okay, guys, it's been a pleasure talking with you all today. Remember, the quality of your life is largely determined by the quality of your questions you ask yourself. Choose wisely, ask courageously, and be open to the wisdom that comes. Until next time, take care of that beautiful heart of yours.